Donald Trump's latest claim about the entire not paying taxes debacle is that he's uniquely positioned to fix the problems with our tax system because he just understands the tax code so well that he believes he is smart for not paying federal taxes, as he was accused by Hillary Clinton in the first presidential debate. Here's a reminder of Trump making this claim from Donald Trump's own Twitter account, as you see, saying, "I know our complex tax laws better than anyone who has ever run for president, and am the only one who can fix them." Trump is going to have to try again with another explanation, because it turns out that an attorney who actually personally oversaw Donald Trump's income tax returns in the mid 1990s, named Jack Mitnick, said that the Republican presidential candidate has always had little interest in the tax code and really didn't understand it nor know anything about it. Here's a quote from Jack Mitnick. He gave an interview to NBC's Today, saying, "As far as I know," and that only goes through late 96, "he didn't understand the code, nor would he have had the time and the patience to learn the provisions. That's a lifetime of experience." I love that. He didn't understand the tax code and he didn't seem interested in learning. You could replace the word tax code or the phrase tax code with almost any topic, and that statement would still accurately describe Donald Trump. Donald Trump really didn't understand economics, and he had really no interest in learning. Donald Trump didn't really understand abortion legislation and had absolutely no interest in learning. Mitnick did oversee the Trump tax returns in 95. That's the year from which a portion of the tax return was published by the New York Times, and it showed that a reported loss of $916 million. And Mitnick also went on to tell the Today Show that we don't know whether that loss was used to not pay federal income taxes going forward. Not a surprise, right? We don't have the tax returns from years following 95. Of course, we have no idea whether Trump actually used that loss not to pay taxes. Mitnick also said something that I found interesting, which is Trump has always been more of a concept guy and not really detail oriented. That's pretty evident from watching the campaign, right? Hey, we're going to build a wall and Mexico will pay for it. Right. Well, the Mexican president said that he wouldn't, and it'd be very difficult to get the money to build the wall, and it'd be incredibly expensive, and it wouldn't really actually stop the entire undocumented immigration problem. Those are details. Trump's the concept guy, so he's not going to get concerned with that.
Yeah. But,
go ahead, Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah, but his hypocrisy here is twofold, because in 2012 in January, he said to Greta Van Susteren that Romney was really hurt very badly by not releasing his taxes. And then he went on to advise him to release them. And then he went on to praise him once he did release them, saying they were wonderfully beautiful. So I really just think the hypocrisy here is it's intense.
The hypocrisy is actually the story. And I'm glad Rachel brought this up, because I want to clarify. The story of Trump's taxes is not specifically a critique of Trump for taking advantage of the tax law to apparently pay no taxes at least some years. It's a story about hypocrisy, right? When, as Rachel says, when Trump said that Romney should release the tax returns, when Trump criticized President Obama for paying 20 point something percent on his $790,000 income, when Trump slammed the 50% of Americans that he claims pay no taxes, the hypocrisy is the story. And big picture, Donald Trump is not releasing his tax returns in contrast to what every presidential candidate for the last 40 years have done. The story is that Trump clearly has something to hide. Absolutely. Anybody who has the means to pay as little in taxes as legally possible is doing the obvious and natural thing. I have the option in Massachusetts, or at least I used to, on my state return to opt to pay a higher rate. The Massachusetts state income tax is 5.3%, and you can opt to pay a higher rate if you just think taxes should be higher. I never did it, right? I am going to act to some degree out of self-interest, but I'm not going to be a hypocrite, right? I'm going to say the tax laws have to be changed. We can't just expect people to say, I'll just pay more, especially since one person choosing to pay more. It's not really going to make a difference when it comes to federal and state budgets. So this is like the Cuba story, right? The critique isn't that the Cuban embargo is really valuable. It's that Trump slammed Cuba, the Cuban regime, but was simultaneously actually exploring doing business with them. This is a critique of course, of the tax laws and of Donald Trump's hypocrisy. But it is not a critique merely of Trump doing what he can legally to avoid paying taxes. That's actually more of a systemic problem.